All right, ladies and gents, welcome. We had quite a few two worlds in the past. One more recently. If you didn't see that one, definitely check out the Land Nomad and the Islands. But we've got good old classic Arena and Arabia. So you've got two players playing in two different worlds. And there's a massive wall in between. And this wall will eventually disappear, but this wall will disappear at the 40-minute mark. Shout out to this lion. Remember that lion at 40 minutes. We'll actually get to see what he looks like. Emu Warrior's the favorite here. Emu is 2,200 elo now. Emu is over here in the red, playing as the Hindustanis. Then on the other side, which, again, is so crazy to me. This would be so tough to play to be on the complete opposite side of the screen. Emu is here on the Arabia side. And then in the blue, we've got Yomi. Obviously, Yomi's down here in the south, playing as the Burgundians. And then also on Arabia here in the north. And so we hosted this community event. We had a bunch of different elos. If you guys would like to play in any of the community tournaments, we are hosting more in the future. So you could use the TTLC command to join the Discord and hear more about that. But this was to mix it up, do some settings we haven't done in a while. And I, of course, was asking around like, hey, I want to see some good games. What are the best games from this? The problem we found with these maps is very commonly someone wins super hard. And very rarely are there a lot of back and forth games. So we've found some that have been produced some absolutely fantastic games. Because, again, it's really complicated settings here. So I asked this question when we watched the previous game, and the question was, which side is more important? Obviously, they're both good enough where they're probably going to be aiming to manage both sides. But as I look at this, it's not quite as clear because there seems to be less gold on the arena side. They have the main gold, they have 2 additional 4 tiles, and that's it. But there's relics on the arena side, and there's not relics on the Arabia side. And then on the arena side, you also have the wood. So, like, wood is kind of important. And so there's more stone and there's more gold on the Arabia side, but there's just simply less wood. Yeah, when I first saw this game, I was really concerned because I saw Emu Warrior and I said, oh no, I'm going to be here all night. Let me just tell you, this game is going to be insane, but I'm actually going to speed up in the early stages because it is quite a competitive game. Yeah, if you guys want these maps, you should be able to download just, I think, search for Two Worlds on the Mod Center. And you should be able to play these. Again, I don't remember exactly who made these maps when I worked on it a year or two ago. Because I swear, I thought someone produced it, and then I was like, hey, I want to do a bunch more. Could we have this and that? Like, I feel bad that I don't recognize. Maybe it was one of my normal map makers. Maybe it was T-West. Maybe it was Algernon or Hank, but it's a cool concept. So scouts find each other over here. And this feels like a coin flip that Emu's going to win. I don't think Yomi got the judgment there. Correct. So now the scout goes down. That could be worrying. Because Emu could come forward, maybe play aggressively, drop a castle. And Yomi's still bringing in this boar. Again, they have to manage both sides of their ecos. Not easy to do. And Yomi's bringing a villager forward for some reason. So maybe Yomi's plan is to wall... Yeah, Yomi's plan is to wall this side. And then play aggressive on this side, maybe. Which makes sense. Wall one side, defense on the other. On the Arabia side, Emu's playing wide open, but is going to stone. Over here, Emu seems to just be planning around, playing kind of normal. And, ooh, I wonder if Emu's scout just spotted that outpost there. I think Emu did notice that, and is going to come over here to investigate. Just to see what's happening. And Yomi's just going home. That would leave me paranoid. I'd be like, why would you bring a villager forward except to siege push? So Emu is probably looking everywhere right now. But yeah, that villager just comes home. It was just a prank. And here the walling villager from Yomi does not die because he gets the quick wall down. Nice. And here come the villagers from Emu. Okay, we got to slow this down. This is happening way too fast. Way too freaking fast. Emu thinks he might be pushed over here, but I guess he hasn't seen anything. And here he comes now. Scout from Yomi is going to chase the scout from Emu away from the walls. And Emu says, "Sup, guys? I'm going to build a castle on your face." Now, chat, this is just the start. Imagine having to play from this position. Castle, forward from Emu, on the palisade walls. Those walls are going to do nothing. Obviously, you could make a couple golems as well, which could be a problem for Yomi. So I think the best play for Yomi has to be a defensive castle now. You simply cannot allow yourself to lose this side that quickly. But the wall strategy hasn't exactly panned out. The scout there survives for Emu. Wow, so Emu has a scout alive on both sides. And now Yomi kind of panicking a little bit, and Yomi will drop a defensive castle. Meanwhile, on this side, we've got the monastery up for Emu. He'll be thinking about snagging those relics. Also did build some outposts. Honestly, Emu seems like he's in a much better position here. But the nice thing for us, guys, is that it's Emu. And in Emu games, anything can happen. So even though it seems like he's got a pretty big lead, Yomi could potentially grind this one out. This is crazy. What is happening, dude? There's going to be another castle from Emu. So he's going to try and full castle this side. Yomi's falling apart. Yomi is completely falling apart. The golems are in. Another castle's on the way up. The castle for Yomi is going to complete. But, oh, God, his monk gets sniped. He gets pushed off of the stone. Basically, I think it's fair to say that this is bad enough for Yomi on this side, where Yomi has to do some pretty crazy stuff over in this area. But we'll see. Nice thing for Yomi is the gold's protected, and there's a lot there. And then the wood's protected. And the Coustilier are great against the golems. So it might not really be that doable for Emu to find a lot of damage now. Yomi, 62 vills, just 69 for Emu. Who needs to add some farms. Has done so on both sides. Maybe we'll start to drop some extra TCs as well. Crazy, crazy map. This is what Emu can see. Emu's looking at the stone. Emu's looking at the market. Emu not really seeing these units in the darkness. And Emu's defense this game has been offense. So there is no protection at home for Emu. So Yomi's doing the right thing here. Emu also doing the right thing, dropping outposts, just to know, like, if Yomi comes forward, he has to have an idea of what could happen. Now, can someone who's maybe friends with Emu confirm? Does he still play with no sound or something? I know he plays with this weird Treb mod that turns it into emus. He always plays as color 6. I'm confusing it. Does he seriously, genuinely play with no sound? People are saying yes. Okay. You're about to see why that is a really stupid idea. Okay? Because there's this thing in the game called an attack signal. And the attack signal gives you the burr. It lets you know when you're being attacked. And if you don't have sound on, you're not going to hear that you are being attacked. Now, maybe, you know, that's not why. Maybe it's just the multitasking's pretty insane. But Yomi's counterattack is getting some excellent damage in here against Emu. And Emu, still so focused on the front, he's going to try and drop a castle here. He has no clue that is happening. I honestly, I don't believe that, by the way. I mean, I believe that that's the meme. Not playing at sound at 2200 elo is insane. I don't even... I have to ask Masty. Masty is Emu's brother. I have to ask Masty to confirm. I don't fully understand it. But if that's the case, props to you, I guess. Castle here from Emu. On the way up. We have a counter castle now from Yomi to deny this. 40% on Emu's castle. It's about 30% on Yomi's castle. Yomi gets some crazy quick walls down as well to defend from the golems. The castle's definitely going up for Yomi. It might not for Emu. And Capture Age crashed. What? Capture Age crashed. And in that moment, a lot happened. Emu's castle was fully denied. This castle here from Yomi killed everything. And then at the same time, Emu was still getting slaughtered on this side. So a lot of our stats are reset, unfortunately, guys, because of the crash. But you can see at the Vil count, Emu's down to 51, and it is 88 for Yomi right now. So not a good moment for Emu whatsoever. Sorry about that, but that's just technology being stupid. And, well played from Yomi. I mean, crazy hold from Yomi. He does have 2 castles here. He doesn't have much of an eco, but the villagers are still protected. And the counterattack was unreal. Again, the actual game doesn't allow you to rewind, so I can't just, like... And also, just fully restarting from here would be fairly painful. So, yeah, I mean, the hold no sound thing is still crazy to me. One could argue that if you could hear the opponent was attacking you, maybe there's a reaction on this side. And the forward castle from Emu, a little bit too crazy. And it gets denied. So now he needs something ridiculous to happen. And he's on his way to Imp. And he's hoping for some damage. And he can see the villagers are moving forward from Yomi. Now someone says he has no hotkeys. Oh, stop it with the fake news, no hotkeys. He's got a couple hotkeys, okay? There is no way. Now I just don't know if I can trust people. There's no way. He's got a couple, at least. Certain ones you might not have for certain units, I can believe that. Maybe walls and monks, right? Here come the units just passing. And Emu doesn't even do anything about that. He just walks right by him. And he's going to castle the face of Yomi. Yomi couldn't really do anything about that. And now Yomi's going to castle the face from Emu. Bro. Okay. There are a couple monks here from Emu. And he'll aim to convert some Vils. He also has the camel. The camel could be converted. In fact, the camel should be converted. That camel's converted. Castle's at 60% here for Yomi. He has to complete this castle. He has to do some damage to Emu. He's also been castled over here, which is stressful. He also might be trebbed over here, which could be stressful. He has to complete this. He has to complete this. And he completes it. So, he's on the way to Imp with this town center. Should make it to the Imperial Age. Smart that he used this TC instead of the others. And all hell is broken loose. And this is where this is going to sound a little spoilery, okay? But I think you guys can pick up on how this game is going. I think it's important to bring up. If you're going to lose the side in this, okay? The most important thing is you keep some form of control on the side that you're losing. Whether that be like 2 villagers in a corner, I don't care. You never want to fall into a situation where you completely get slaughtered. Yomi's about to get pushed. Yomi's got 52 Vils here. Emu could get pushed. Emu's got... Well, he's only got 10. So I guess Emu's just ahead of the game. Emu doesn't really have that much to lose. So that was just good forward thinking from Emu. But even still, you got to keep what you can alive for as long as possible. Yomi makes it to Imp finally. Will make trebs from somewhere. Looks like he's making trebs from here to clear this up. So Emu could lose both of these castles. And we've got monasteries from Yomi and also trebs. So he's going to go like monks and siege to try and push Emu's castle back here. Meanwhile, no defensive castle from Emu to make trebs. He has no stone. But he did just complete chemistry, so he could go for bombard cannons. And bombard cannons would be huge for both. But still no chemistry for Yomi. And chemistry could be really important. So it feels like Emu is completely giving up on Arabia. Which... From what I know about his ladder grind, that seems fairly accurate. This is his way of banning Arabia. You let everything die. Focusing on arena. 3 ranges. Bombard cannons. And nice Treb stack here. So if you can get to the heavy range hand cannons with a couple bombard cannons, when Yomi doesn't have any bombard cannons yet, could be really strong. Remember, most of Yomi's eco lead is in here. This isn't a normal game. This is 2 worlds. And the Trebs are walled up. Trebs are protected. Castle could go down. Castle will go down here for Yomi. And, I mean, I'm assuming it will go down. Nice rewall there from Emu. That's really good work from Emu. And the hand cannons are behind, and the castle fires there too. And now the castle goes down. This is a tough situation for Yomi to be in right now. The hand cannons are just sitting back there. The thing about Emu is he's able to do more with less because he's very simple in his approach. He doesn't overextend. So him just camping there with the hand cannons makes it super difficult for Yomi to find the engagements. And this one villager building those houses and walls as well has made it pretty clutch. Meanwhile, Yomi could focus down this castle. Meanwhile, we have Yomi attacking the walls here and is bringing forward a Treb. But Emu uses the monks. It gets a couple conversions. Might even take out the Treb there and still holding this position. And uses the Trebs to take out the Treb. And I think even the monks as well from Yomi have gone down. And over here as well. No, Yomi, 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 Yomi. Your Treb. No. Okay, he saves the Treb. But this is Danger Zone. Not like, I don't know if Danger Zone, the song, would really fit this moment for Yomi. But this is terrifying. Because this is starting to snowball on you. And the best thing that he could really do is probably attack here. But he can't break through those walls yet. You could tell he's panicked. He's getting housed. He's adding more houses now. He brings in his bombard cannon. And the bombard cannon gets sniped by the Trebs. And he still hasn't killed a Treb. The hand cannons come in. And this is where the game really gets crazy, guys. Emu's starting to make a deep push into Yomi's arena eco. And Emu is starting to lose control over all of Arabia. And here the units already got some snipes, or maybe there to get some snipes. Here, there's still a couple of villagers exposed with no protection. Yomi's running out of space to build now. Like, he's got the resources, but he just doesn't have space and time to think, space and time to breathe. And Emu with the bombard cannon, slowly just attacking over top of the wall. I actually think Yomi needed petards here. 3 petards, and army would have actually cleared all this. But it's hard to think petards are the answer when it's such a niche thing. Look at those Trebs dance. Those are all the Emu fans right there seeing this game right now. Hand cannons, just unstoppable from the Hindustanis after the Shatagni unique tech. And there's a lot of golds. And there's enough food for Emu where he could potentially push in here, and even 50 villagers behind. Yomi is just unable to stabilize for the time being. Painful. Painful, painful, painful. So, remember what I said. Like, this is obviously very bad for Yomi, okay? But you need to boom up over here. Okay, so he's adding more eco. Kill all the vills you can, and you need to keep something alive, right? Like these stables, all this is key. So you have to die slowly in one area. Be as stubborn as possible. There goes Yomi. He's going to run this way as well. He knows he's going to lose his castle, but he does have the Paladin upgrade on the way from this stable, so that'll complete. And, like, maybe Paladin can do it, right? Emu finally adding villagers. Well, I think he will soon. He hasn't been creating vills for a long time. He's just been going full army. But he's adding TCs to eventually do that. And the trebuchets have been so key. It was like At this castle and the trebs and the bombard cannons, the hand cannons, just found such a crazy timing. And I really feel for Yomi here because I've been in this position where you just have no space to breathe. The main difference, though, is it's not normal arena. You still have the other areas on the other side. And he's brought trebs, and he'll take out Emu's TC, and he will aim to kill all of Emu's villagers. And they will essentially swap sides. Now, these walls, chat. These walls disappear at 40 minutes. We're 90 seconds away from that. And Panic TC's here from Yomi. Still waiting for Paladin. Couple vills around here. They'll be found. And these villagers killed. But the TC will go up for Yomi. He's going to hang on. Now, what Yomi does not see right now is Yomi cannot see these two villagers. So remember those two villagers are there. And now it's 100 villagers for Yomi instead of like 130. And it's 77 for Emu. But the paladins are through from Yomi. The walls are about to get destroyed. And we've just got a crazy game, man. We've just got a crazy game. Yo, Frizzle, thank you. Eldritch, thank you. Captain Kirko, thank you guys for the primes. Thanks for the subs. There is an offensive spearman there from Emu, just attacking the TC. And sorry, the walls are down. But unlike the game I showed earlier, chat, you actually have to take down the wood now. So it's not like Emu, or Yomi for that matter, can instantly just storm over here or escape. They actually would need to tech to Onager or use the trebs. I really like what Yomi has done here to keep some of this army presence. Because, at least for the time being, that's not really something that Emu has the luxury of. But, what I really like for Emu is all of his eco is safe. And he also has relics. And he also has the Hindustanis. So, the Hindustanis are like one of the toughest late-game civilizations to beat if there's gold. And I consider them better than the Burgundians once Camel comes in as well. It's very tough for the Burgundians to find an answer to hand cannon and Camel. Because right now, I think what Yomi would want... Yomi is going to want to use the mobility of the Paladins. And maybe he needs to go for bomber cannons or skirms. One trebuchet goes down. Nice house walls there from Emu as he wants another castle. Another treb gets sniped. The Paladins kind of make it in. Another treb's going to get sniped. In fact, all the trebs are going to be sniped, but the castle's up. Emu still doesn't have... He still doesn't have ballistics. He still doesn't have fletching. But look at that positioning of the hand cannons onto the other side of the houses. So now the Paladins have to run through the castle fire, around the outside. And the hand cannons maybe do a good enough job there. I really wish the spearman would be killed because I keep seeing it blinking on the minimap and it's annoying me. Also, I don't think Emu remembers these villagers are here, but they're there. Remember that. Blue doesn't know that. Blue thinks he's safe over there. Yomi's going to build up. Build a castle. Start to think about maybe an onager cut. Still has a TC over here, but he has like no army now. This many hand cannons with this much range is so tough to deal with. Burgundians could go for their own gunpowder. Their gunpowder does do more damage, but then they're outranged. So I think it's kind of a tough decision to make. Remember, there's more stone and there's more gold available, at least by my calculations, on the Arabia side. I could be wrong on that, though, because this is a lot of gold for Emu to be able to take. Anyways, Yomi, what's left of his eco on Arena might be killed off. There's nothing down here. These vills will try and run, but I think they'll be killed as well. There are a couple of vills. Man, Capture Edge keeps giving me errors here, guys. Just had another weird error. I think we're fine, but yeah, Yomi's got a couple vills on the wood line, just hoping. And maybe these villagers from Yomi will survive as well. The Paladins go in for the raid. But the stable's already prepped for Emu. Emu gets the gate down. He did that without a hotkey, guys. Come on, saying he doesn't have hotkeys. Obviously, he has a couple hotkeys. Someone said, I heard Emu hit 2k elo with a Guitar Hero controller. That was funny from chat. Oh, nice escape. Okay, Yomi escapes with a couple of vills here. And, ooh, Yomi is building an outpost, which might spot these two villagers from Emu over here. Yomi also more stables. But Yomi has lost most military production buildings on this side. He's done a great job at trying to just stay stubborn. So it's kind of turning into a Michi game now. So Arabia and Arena into Michi. Once this gets cleared up, if this gets cleared up, that's essentially what it is. Giant woodline through the middle. And the woodline through the middle is... That's the type of map that Emu's going to want. That's the type of map Hindustanis are going to want against the Burgundians. They have time to get to their late game tech. And so, Yomi's still holding on with that one villager. These villagers go down on the wood line. All of this will be trebbed down. And the villager... Ooh, hold up. No freaking way. Bro. Okay, there used to be two vills here. Right? And I don't know what happened to the other one. I'm going to guess that Yomi killed it. But Emu's kind of run away. I don't know if Yomi's looking for this vill or is just trying to play it safe. But Emu's sneakily building a TC there. So they're both trying that. I think at this point... Oh, there's the other vill. Oh, yeah, you're right, chat. You're right. That's that's the other vill. Okay. I think at this point, all the vills for Yomi are gone. And he just has these build. Wait. No, Yomi's got another vill. Okay, so they're both just hoping to harass the other. And that TC is definitely going to complete here. And it's going to be annoying for both players to deal with this. I think it seems pretty realistic that Emu is going to deal with this. But Yomi keeps pulling the paladins away, which is amazing. Oh my god! What the? Go, Yomi, go! Run away! Does Emu see that? I don't know if Emu sees that. He's moving the Gulam like he knows about them. Oh, that sucks. Well, did he actually patrol them? Oh, he's probably going to find them. This vill died to a hand cannon. These 4 vills are going to be spotted. This TC completes for Emu, and he's running with her. And now we have stables from Emu over here. Can Yomi notice this and wall in a vill? Oh, okay, so Yomi's got one left. This is so funny, dude. This is so funny. Look, Yomi keeps trying to distract and pull Emu away from the buildings. Now, what does Yomi know? Okay, Yomi sees this vill. So she should die. But there can always be more because of the town center. That's a really unfortunate misclick. How do you misclick into the TC like that? He tried to click the TC with the Treb, clearly. But then it somehow ended up in the middle. Oh, yeah, maybe he set the gather point from the castle there. Anyways, Treb's been noticed now. I think the TC will get taken out. And then the vill from Yomi got sniped. So, yeah, we've got... Soon we have officially both players on the other person's side. Well, it won't be official yet because there's still this villager who is building stables. And 5k gold for Emu, by the way. So Emu's going to be in a fantastic spot there. Crazy game. Just crazy game. And yeah, TC's down. Yomi needs to check this corner. So on the Burgundian side, we have Burgundian vineyards, which gives you gold income. There's gold here, there's gold here, there's stone. I mean, there's so much res. 151 vills for Yomi. On Emu's side, he's got 3 relics. There is still a decent amount of gold remaining. There's like 3k gold left here. And what does Emu do, guys? Emu is going to wall the entire map. At least we have the start. Emu's like, oh, this is exactly what I like. Emu loves the stone walls. And now he's dropping... I mean, he's got a way of damaging the opponent's eco, so he's sending a couple Hussars this way to go raid, a couple Hussars this way to go raid, and Yomi's going to be like, what? Yomi's going to be like, where are these Hussars coming from? I honestly would assume that there was an onager cut. I would be so confused. These random Hussars running through. By the way, I remember I played Emu in the community tournament, and someone was like, man, like, why were you so aggressive? Why were you such a nerd? Because if Emu's like a... Emu, and I mean this, you know, in a nice way, he's like a weird festering disease in a wound, right? And if you don't just cut off the limb, he's gonna hang around and annoy the crap out of you, and maybe infect the rest of your body. You gotta get rid of him. That's what this is. That's what this is right now. It must be so annoying if you're Yomi. You're like, how did he do this? How is he here? Sorry, Emu. It is a great example. Great raids with the Hussars. A bunch of different groups. And we'll see if these trebuchets get rid of it. Meanwhile, Emu still building up the walls. And getting fortified wall. The nice thing for Yomi as he kills the Vil, the nice thing for Yomi is that he probably had a few too many Vils anyways. So that's not the end of the world. And I think this will finally be dealt with. Now, he took a lot of losses, but he still has a really nice setup. And he still has a really good eco. So it's not going to be... No reason to panic. Obviously, you could maybe get a little annoyed. The only thing that would be kind of funny right now for Yomi is he can kind of see these walls through his own walls. He doesn't have vision on any of the other walls, but being walled means if the opponent cuts through, they can't really damage you. But if you cut through, you can damage them. There is 15k gold left. There is 2,600 stone. Of the gold that's remaining, there's actually only 1,000 left on Emu's side. So most of that gold is available to Yomi. And there we have a castle from Yomi. Now, this is what I call an Arabia player castle. Anyone who's played Hideout or listened to me cast on Hideout has heard me talked about these types of castles before. It feels natural to place a castle here because you're like, it protects the wood line. But if you don't have a way to hit the other side, they're just going to treb your castle down. So this is a castle that Yomi will learn not to place eventually. And it's the same thing on Hideout where people tend to castle here and then it just gets trebbed down. But here we go. Onager cut's going to happen on this side from Yomi. And Emu Warrior sees it. So he's aware. He's also aware there's a castle here. Emu attempting to stonewall the entire map. He is on the arena side after all. And Yomi's like, yes, we finally dealt with the raids. Let's do this. Let's do this. And he shows up. And he just sees tons of walls. Which is smart, man. You don't want to deal with these raids. Also, that is just a lumber camp for red. And that is an outpost. Those are the only things that Emu has on the other side. Villager from Emu is attacking the Onager. Yomi needs to realize that. That would be pretty terrible to lose the Onager. But the Onager's not going to take out the walls anytime soon. And Emu just sits. And he just waits. And he is patient. Because he has walls. But he might not have walls for much longer. The bombard cannons are here. They'll take out the walls quickly. And now Emu might actually need to bring his army over here. I think this comp of hand cannon camel is better in a choke. It's not necessarily better if you need mobility. I guess halbs aren't that mobile either. It does depend a little bit. Emu tossing a couple villagers away just to give more time. 6k gold for Emu, 3 relics, but no gold mineable. Look at the resources for Yomi. Yomi's still hoping to break through. And he's gonna break through. Never mind. Hold that thought. He's gonna break through. He's gonna break through. It's so frustrating to be Yomi right now. He's gonna break through. Here he goes. He's through. He's through, and he runs immediately into a group of 40 hand cannons, and the camels come from behind. And oh, man, you might want to back away, dude. You might want to abort this mission, Yomi. Yomi has gone too deep into enemy territory. That's a really nice engagement for Emu. Probably just needs to pull the camels back now. And then the hand cannons can do their thing. And until Yomi's tried to use the bomber cannons on the hand cannons, but it just did not work. And that was a complete and utter clear up there for Emu. And that's important because he doesn't have the gold, right? Hello, MBL. Welcome. Thank you for the raid. Welcome, MBL viewers. And Emu's just going to re-wall this. Just add another little layer of wall so Blue can't run through there, and he's going to regroup. And now we have the Treb cut from Yomi to come through this way. So Yomi's like, I got to attack. I got to push. We got to do some damage. Here he comes. I like it. He's switching sides. He's keeping his opponent busy. The main issue is these freaking walls, bro. So well defended from Emu. This wall looked ridiculous, but now Yomi hitting, running into a brick wall again. And another thing we're always talking about, right, is like pushing with the proper number of trebs. Yomi is 2 trebs now. That's not horrible. But it'd be so nice. He has 3 more in queue. And this is every Arabia player's nightmare is what we're experiencing on Yomi's side. Emu just backs up. He uses his 6 trebs, and he just trebs back the other trebs. At what point is Yomi going to be like, bro, it's a war game. Let's fight. Oh, my God. Trebs go down. And now Yomi's getting a little bit pissed. He queues up some petards. So, I actually think petards against walls is smart. Because you can, like, you could bust a hole into the wall and run in. I actually don't think it's horrible. But you need, I think, bombard cannons. Bombard cannons is the key. Because Burgundian bombard cannons are amazing. Hello, 2 random Hindustani paladins. These units remember this guy. They're like, what? Craig? What's Craig doing here? Look at the amount of stables. 19 stables for Emu. Only 5 ranges. So really doesn't have that many production buildings. I'd like to see more archer ranges as well. It's crazy how Yomi is like sweating like crazy and trying to actively do something all the time. And Emu is just playing the patient game. He's like, I'm cool with this. I have nowhere to be. Oh, God. Here come the petards. Here come the petards. Here we go. Now, will the castle focus on them? If the castle focuses on them before they get in... gate's going to go down. Units are going to be through. And they make it through and they get trapped again anyways. Oh, my God. Houses and walls from Emu. The leftover petards don't get the job done. And again, the door is shut, closed. And Yomi has to back away again to think about his life choices. And Emu's just waiting. He's like, come to me. Because you have the gold. I do not. Like, why? If the opponent's got endless gold, you kind of need him to waste some gold. In a weird way, right? So, it's still 5k gold, but only the 3 relics there for Emu. No way to trade, right? There's no leftover markets. So, Yomi needs to be able to attack in different spots, in my opinion. Trying to run in where Emu's expecting you is a mistake. But you can tell the frustration is growing. And you also can tell that Emu's becoming more and more comfortable here. Now, I think Yomi's just healing up his units inside of the castles right now. Boink, boink, boink. He's just ejecting the fresh ones. Yeah, the Arabia side had no relics, which is unfortunate for Yomi. But the Arabia side has way more gold. So there's still 3K more gold there for Yomi. He's going to be up to 10K gold. And now that castle, as the walls come up from Emu, is just going to be trebbed right down from the other side of the walls. And Emu will be very happy with that. Chipping away. Chipping away. Yeah, Burgundians also have vineyards, too. I just think, like, Yomi's such a good player. I played him in community tournaments. He's really talented. Certain players lack experience on what to do in these late games, and one of those units is bombard cannons. And the lack of bombard cannon is the painful thing right now. 10 bombard cannons with Halb and Coustelier, and 10 bombard cannons break through these walls so much faster than anything else he's tried. I think maybe his brain has melted a little bit, and he forgot about that. You also, if you could consider your own walls, then we might be here for 3 hours. But that might not be a horrible thought, honestly. So you might be thinking, like, what's Emu's plan, actually? And the answer is you kind of got to wait for your opponent. You got to wait for your opportunity to strike. Because your opponent can't damage you, you can always run through. Like, right now, until this is walled, you could run through and damage them. So you have to be a little patient in waiting for your moments. Emu's outpost over here shows these vills. And so I think Emu is building this gate to Onager cut through the trees to go hit that. And Emu has built up a couple more outposts just to know where the army is from Yomi at all times. So Yomi thinks he's being sneaky here. But Emu should be able to see this, right? And also, you can hear it, too. You can hear it. So, Onager's coming through. Army's still just chilling here for Emu. He just casually has a siege elephant in queue, and now he sees this. And naturally, he's going to bring his army to deal with this. Yeah, I think if you break through these walls, or if you want to go for the kill in these situations, I think deleting 100 vills is actually worth it to get max army. But that you don't want to do that when you're running into walls, but that's a really good thought. Also, I forgot. Yeah, I guess Emu can't hear it. So, I think those petards just hit a lumber camp. Yomi. I feel so bad for you. I feel bad for you, but this is a necessary lesson that all of us must learn at some point. Every time, man. Every freaking time he thinks he's going to be able to break this guy, there's more walls. This is like playing The Legend of Wall, High Elo edition. It's crazy, dude. It just... But at a certain point, Yomi's going to have to wake up and make some bombard cannons again. And hey, let's go! 5 bombard cannons in queue. He never clicked that hotkey so hard in his life. Oh, man. Finally. Because you can hit it from range. You can move around. But unfortunately, while Emu has a little bit more time here, Emu is going to wall that choke point again. Also, this elephant is just slowly taking down all the leftover walls from Yomi. And uh-oh. Emu has Onager cut through. And he is now here with trebuchets. Thou shalt not trickle treb, chat. We've talked about this for years, man. And Emu might not be able to hear me because apparently he doesn't use headphones. But he certainly learned the adage. He must have read it in a Twitch chat somewhere. But I think he knows he's been spotted, so he's going to back away with the trebs. Here comes Yomi. All the way over here. Remember, this is like a size 4 map, essentially. Like, the map's so freaking big for just a 200 pop 1v1. He's got to come over here to respect this. Because he saw the trebs. And now he's looking for those trebs. And there's walls. So that was actually just a prank. So sometimes, guys, the best way to beat walls is to match walls. Because right now, there's not a lot stopping Emu from going out to raid. Those trebs just pull back. The army just chilling here. The army just chilling here. Emu's still waiting. He's not ready yet. And at the very least, Yomi's going to take out this outpost. We've got how much gold left? 800 gold remaining and 60 stone. So soon a goldless and stoneless game. There is more wood on Emu's side, which is obviously way better for him long term. But it still feels like there's a lot of wood on Yomi's side. So much. Deadly Cookie says, can we get mods that make walls cost population like we have for bombard towers? I'm sure that's doable, yes. But this is a rare game. This doesn't happen all the time. I'm not going to propose that we do that. I think this is like a crazy game. They started on both sides, and Emu's like, he's just this type of player, and now he cuts through. When he's ready to fight, they're going to take those fights right now. And Yomi's been so used to being the one attacking, he almost forgot that his opponent could move out. And move out he does. Imp Camel and the hand cannons. Ooh, but the Kusile are going to try and get around here. They get a very nice surround. And Emu's trying to still move those hand cannons so the camels can eat. And I think that's a really good fight for Emu, all things considered. Most of the units go down for Yomi. Yeah, that's an absolute slaughter. And 55 camels in the queue for Emu. Not on the field, in the queue. He has his production ready. His trebs are coming in. And now he'll drop a castle. This is the only gold remaining, actually. Wait. Okay, yeah, 700 gold. That's the only gold remaining. And so the opponent can't raid him. That's impossible because he has the walls. But his opponent never really had the wall. And now he's ready to go. Also, I think he deleted... Let me go back real quick. Did he delete Vils? No, he didn't delete Vils. Never mind. He only had 109 Vils. But I thought he deleted Pop here. Because it would make sense for Yomi. You need a lot of army. I think deleting Vils now so you can get max Pop would be crazy. But maybe he did earlier. Because he feels a little light on Vils right now. He had 117 earlier. Okay. Well, there should be bombard cannons somewhere from Yomi. So here they are. They're on the left side because that's where he wanted to push from. But he doesn't really have a choice in the matter. He has to fight. And it's unfortunate. But this is just not going to be a fight he can ever win. This is so good for Emu. And there's honestly not a single civ in the game that I can think of that can beat this comp. Except, well, maybe like Calb Siege Onager with certain civs. You know... Maybe, right? There's definitely some that come to mind. Maybe Mongols, Mangadai, Siege Onager, I guess. But even still, like, hand cannon, bombard cannon, Imperial Camel is so tough. And Burgundians, they're going to have to try Halb. So, the Halb will get chewed up by those hand cannons. Emu slides those camels over kind of perfectly, patrols them in front. And all that additional gold that Yomi's mined is just getting put into this production that just gets immediately chewed up. His bombard cannons were on the left side. His bombard cannons, I'm pretty sure they got sniped over there. So they've gone down. Maybe he's got more of them. I'm not really sure. But everything's falling apart. Oh, God, here they are. So they're going down as well. It's just such a good comp. Emu did come forward to take what was left of that gold. So now there's no gold left on the map. Remember, he had to be patient because he didn't have the same amount of gold. And you could tell Yomi's just trying to gather up an army to deal with this. And he's having such a tough fight because of the patience of Emu. It's funny, but like this was this back and forth game, which was really crazy. But I think it was always going to be better for Emu if he lost a side. Like, he could simplify his game plan and just build up from one area. That's what Emu kind of likes. Yomi is someone who wants to be, you know, more multitasking oriented. Certainly the Civ matchup, too. Like, Burgundians probably want the multitasking and the craziness. What happened to the bombard cannons? Well, he had 6 over here. They got sniped during that main fight. He missed that. And then he had like 5 or 6 coming this way. And they got sniped during the main fight soon after. Someone says Bohemians cook this. Do Bohemians cook this in... And when they get raided, though? Like, Bohemians don't have mobility. That's just not it. That fight right there isn't it. I think in a choke point, yeah, Bohemians and like Turks even really hard to stop, right? But Turks don't really have an answer to the camels. So Bohemians would probably be the main one. Yeah, Portuguese. You're right. There are some civs. There are some civs that can certainly compete more than Burgundians. At the end of the day, though, it just seems like such a tough fight for Yomi. And it's a slow creep, a slow crawl into the heart of the eco now from Emu. Here's a fun one, chat. So I'm going to switch to value destroyed. So that would be buildings and units value destroyed, okay? If you had to guess what Emu's value destroyed was this game, what would it be? There's been 571 kills. Obviously, there's been like buildings taken out as well. All of that. I think it's a ridiculous number. Like a mind-blowing number. We'll go to that after this fight. I don't really have a guess. This is, I don't know, like, I want to say maybe 150K? The army just disappears, man. The army just disappears. Also, Trebs are sneaking in down here to go for this castle. Will Yomi notice that? The castle for Emu is going to complete. There are also Hussars running into raid this side. There's also Hussars getting kills on this side. The answer, by the way... Okay, well, chat said big numbers, and so did I. 95K value destroyed. That's 95K versus 50K. So res collected's 50K higher for Yomi, but he's lost 50K more in fights. And now we have a Cav Archer from Emu, which is an interesting choice. I don't hate it. It gives you more mobility than the hand cannons. Probably easier to keep the Cav Archers alive. Still very good against the Halbs. Still very good against Hussars. This was such a sneaky move, though. These two Trebs. Obviously, Yomi's distracted. And Yomi has to respect this. Yomi still 93 on food. He's got a crazy economy. He does have an onager around here. I'm just looking, like... It seems impossible for him to be able to counterattack right now, but he maybe needs to try that. But I think he just is slowly coming to the conclusion that this is going to be his end. Yomi's been a fighter the whole game. His population's never been low. But he just cannot compete with this much firepower. He did kill some bomber cannons in the Treb. So there's that. But he did lose that castle. So he's got this castle. He's got this castle. This castle. I mean, he's got like 6 castles still. Someone saying Yomi has too many vills. See, when you're losing units this fast, I don't really agree with that. I think 140 vills is fine. I truly do think at this point it comes down to one person can decide how the fights are taken. Because they have walls. Like, there's no way that Yomi can ever do any counter damage. So he's stuck reacting. I don't know. I think when units are dying this fast, I think I would have 120, 130 bills. It feels very natural to want a big economy. It's tough. I just think he's out-comped at this point. And Emu knew that if he could just wait and be patient with the walls, that he could eventually make his play. He was lurking back behind those walls, and then ever since he's moved forward, it's been kind of impossible for Yomi. Switching the skirms in some ways might feel natural, but the skirms just die to the camels as well. Especially Burgundian skirms, they're not actually that good without the final armor. So this is just a late game comp Burgundians can't kill. And Emu played it perfectly. He was extremely patient. And these Trebs, I guess, have been noticed. Okay, so Yomi will keep that castle up. Kind of does feel like Yomi's going to try skirms. We're seeing, elite skirm in a couple ranges now. But so many units have to die. Another castle goes down. So this was actually part of a series. We're not going to cast the full series. But I would love to know what the score was between these two and which game this was. Yomi's pop is still 180. He's still spamming units. This is apparently the first game. Okay. Well, maybe save the score of the series until after this. God, best of 5 in these settings would be insane. Like, this is such a brutally long match. So many units have died. I guess maybe some of the other maps offer a little bit more aggression. I just don't know what more to suggest for Yomi. Here are the skirms. Again, you lack the final armor, so heavy CA killed him pretty quickly. And then a couple Hussar in front's actually pretty decent. And yeah, the GG's called. Yomi GG's at 185 pop. He's like, this is not going to get any better for me. I'm not going to win this fight. And there's no way for him to counterattack. That was crazy. So, oh, I guess I can't go the whole way back because Capture Age crashed. Well, that's good enough. I was going to say, we started like this. And then we ended... Well, that's not really how we started. Whatever. We ended like this. You can go back and look at it in the video. That was cool. That was really cool. So yeah, well played. I don't know who ended up winning this series. I mean, it felt like Yomi had his chances, and eventually it just turned into a nightmarish situation where he couldn't really do all that much. But Emu is the higher elo player, so he probably would have been the favorite. Apparently, Emu won that series 3-1. Okay, so Yomi got a win on the board then. It's really painful to end the game and see your eco was this good. Like, what? That's ridiculous, man. 117,000 food versus 67k. The gold difference wasn't that much, but still. But yeah, he couldn't find the right fights because he couldn't get in through the walls. Guys, if these walls weren't there, Yomi would be bringing in vills and building buildings. He'd be raiding with Hussars, and he'd have random halbs around. And Emu's slower, so Emu'd be reacting back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So you can say Civ win, but really, it was a wall win. The walls are really valuable here. I think the walls were key, and it was clear that Yomi didn't really know what to do against them. So, long game. Hopefully it was good fun for people. The Two Worlds concept can produce some good games. Not ones that normally turn into this. But YouTube, let me know, and if you're enjoying this, we can maybe mix it up. We could even make more maps too. I can reach out to the scripter Bazzy and see if we can combine other types of maps. I think there's like 10 of them or something. I don't have them all memorized. I know there's like Land Nomad and Islands, Arena Arabia. I think there's like there's only 5 of them. Okay, so maybe Arbase can tell me what they are. I think there's like, isn't there like a regular Nomad combined with? Now, I don't know if there's a regular Nomad one or Hideout one. There's a Rune Stones and Golden Pit one? Okay. Anyways, look up the mod. It's called Two Worlds, and it should be on the mod center for those that want it. Okay. Socotra Oasis, and then Amazon Tunnel and Gold Rush. Amazon Tunnel and Gold Rush? We need to do that one. That's crazy. Because both maps are really like objective focused, where you need to focus on one area of the map. I need to cast that one for YouTube. The problem is, I found most of these games can be quite snowbally, so it's not a lot of back and forth. That's the main issue.